Hello, Cancer, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of October 12th through the 18th. During that time, we have the waning gibbous that moves us into the last quarter moon on the 15th and then the waning crescent. So those waning energies are a really good time for self-reflection and rebirth. Good time to get rid of bad habits and negative thinking. We move into that last quarter, and that's a good time for just, really even deeper reflection, but letting things go, figuring out what didn't work for us, taking responsibility for things that we've done over the past cycle, and just kind of starting to rebuild, the plan for the new moon when that comes around for the new cycle. And then, of course, the waning crescent is that last little bit of surrender, rest, and healing. It's very dark, the very end of that moon energy, that light coming through. So just a good time to rest and just get yourself re-energized for the next cycle ahead. So keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter, Cancer. So, as always, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't for someone else. All right, your overall message for this reading: a fiery climax approaches. All right, let's see what the Cancer Collective. That sounds exciting. Let's see what you guys have going on. As I'm shuffling, I would like to say that my fun weekly reminder this week is that you take some time to meditate this week. So, while we've got these moon energies that are waning, it's a really good time to, kind of settle down, do that self reflection, during your meditation. And then also try to get to where you're not doing the self reflection, but just really emptying out your mind and trying to relax. But a good time to go and explore meditation a little bit. So that is just my fun reminder for you this week to give that a try if it's not something that you do already. All right, let's get into this reading and see what this fiery climax is about, Cancer, for October 12th through the 18th. Your overall present energy is the Queen of Cups. So fiery climax, but there's you sitting very cool, calm, collected emotionally. You're not getting too emotionally engaged, but you understand your emotions, and you also understand the emotions of everyone in your kingdom as this climax, as this thing is going on. You're kind of doing that quiet evaluation that a Cancer might do. Your current situation is the Devil. So this could be brought on by something the devil has had a hand in. And I'm almost getting the feeling that some of you will be kind of dealing with someone that has a dependency issue, some sort of addictive thing that's coming up. I'm sure this is very common for everybody out there. There's, someone in each family that everybody's having to kind of deal with. And I feel like, this might be something that you get to come up against, and maybe this is what's causing this fiery climax. Could be that, you're involved in some sort of intervention or something where you're trying to help someone who may or may not want your help, and that could be a fiery climax. But again, you're trying to maintain your emotional stability and just very calm, and trying to be that example too for everybody else this week. At the root of this situation is the Hangman. So maybe you've had some sort of new perspective, some new information has come into this entire situation where, you do feel like you need to be involved. It could just be that maybe it's just gotten more serious lately, and something, it doesn't have to be that. I mean, I'm getting that feeling for some of you that'll be something you're dealing with. If not, you're kind of dealing with just some of your own issues when it comes to, the false truths that the devil card brings about. These are things like self-doubt. You could be a little distraction. You could have your own dependency issues that you're kind of dealing with. This could be, maybe being closed-minded about something or being obsessed about something. So, it could be something that you're not dealing with on an outward level, but just something internal that you're also kind of managing and dealing with. In your recent past is the King of Cups. So lots of lots of emotional maturity and understanding here as you're dealing with it. And this could be your new perspective. Maybe you didn't have that emotional maturity before to deal with this thing, but it's something that recently there's been some catalyst to kind of show you a new way of doing things, having a new perspective that makes this easier for you to face, or maybe not even easier. That might not be the right word, but it's at least you're willing to face it, and you're willing to remain emotionally stable, right? Instead of kind of going off the handle about it, or kind of just reeling emotionally about it. What's on your mind this week is the King of Swords. Lots of royalty in this issue, in this reading, which tells me that does involve other people. There's a lot of people around you that kings and queens. We'll see if more come out. And again, this could be your dependency. This could be people coming at you with an intervention that maybe, or at least talking to you about it. Like, hey, this needs to be dealt with. But I am seeing that it's not just other people. It's not just kind of an internal problem. Anytime I start to see more and more of these royalty cards, and we'll see if more come out, but it's feeling like it is kind of a family situation, and there's more people around you with these energy. Like King of Swords is like, the very logical, very knowledgeable but logical, very knowledgeable but emotional here with the King of Cups. So let's see who else. What's is just in front of you is some sort of, this is kind of reaping what you sow. And in this position, I get that this may be you. And again, you've sown some seeds that um, you can't really do anything. They're out there. They're going to come in. You're going to reap that harvest. But I'm definitely getting that this is you reap what you sow, and not in a positive way. So you might just be having to turn around and face some things that are emotional, but it looks like you're going to kind of just maintain some emotional maturity about it. And it could be that you've just grown to see the truth again. Something has changed your mind and shown you a new perspective here. What is in your advice position is the Knight of Pentacles. So this is action in the material world. So this is action in the way of money, or this could even be moving. This could be changing apartments. This could be selling a house and moving to another place. This is something about changing your material world for good, for the positive. And I think it's that's because it's in the advice position. Is something you really do need to think about doing. Is maybe you're just in the wrong physical space to have the kind of influence around you that you need to, and you need to move off into a different physical space where there's better influence around you. Does that make sense? What is beyond your control this week is the Page of Wands. So this is kind of a discovery. It's beyond your control to kind of discover something new, and discover something new to be passionate about, something new to get you out of bed in the morning. And again, if it's kind of releasing whatever this devil energy for you is, just negative thinking, releasing again, releasing just being closed-minded, being in denial about something, um, some sort of self-deception, but those things they're all false. Anything that the devil brings into you, it's not, it's usually, or not usually, it is. It's something that doesn't really exist. It's almost like your perception of it exists, and you get trapped in kind of a loop of thinking about that. So this is you having a new perspective and a new loop, something new to be excited about. So that's pretty awesome there. It's beyond your control. What is your secret desire? What you're trying to avoid is the Eight of Swords here, which is feeling stuck. But if this is also the card of being able to break free of this, to know that even though it looks like you're stuck like this, you can totally break free. There's no chains holding you here. That almost looks like this almost looks like it's gauze holding you. You can break free if you want to, and you can. But that your secret desire is to break free of this, or are you trying to avoid breaking free? Do you want to stay stuck in that, or would you like to break free of this? And your outcome position is some stability here with the Four of Pentacles. So, and not only is this financial stability, but it's just kind of stability. The end of this is your ability to just hold on, just hold on. If you can just get to a point where you can just maintain and hold on. So, Cancer, I don't know if this is you fighting this, or if you're part of the people, again, involved with an intervention with someone else, but you can get through this. You can get through this emotionally. You can get through this, with this emotional stability of the royal couple here. You've got the king and the queen there that are going to just help you maintain. And you've also got that logic here of the King of Swords. You've got that working on your side as well. And this new perspective, you're seeing things in a new way. And it's almost like I do feel like it's almost like, okay, it's just time to do this. It's quick. Let's face it, let's start to get to work on it, and let's at least get to where we've got at least a stable plan going for the near future here. What is hidden from you this week is the Three of Swords. So a little bit of heartbreak, because I feel like this is freeing. This is your big question here when it comes to being free. Do you want to? Are you ready to escape feeling stuck, or are you trying to avoid that and you want to stay there? That'll be your big question of the week, is do you want to stay where you are, or do you want to move to a different place and get better or help someone else get better? So that's your big question of the week. Should you stay or go? Yeah, let's see what the Soul Oracle deck says. Be open to love. Yeah, if you have people around you, especially that are coming to you and just having, they want you to look at something, or again, if you're a part of the group that wants someone else to, just make sure that you know that this is being done out of love, and make sure that you're doing whatever you're doing out of love as well. What do you need to do in the way of self-care this week? Self-care for Cancer as they go through whatever this is facing the devil here. Okay, the card that comes up is surprise. Release your expectation and be open to surprise. So release your expectations of what this looks like. You've got some sort of new perspective here, and maybe getting over this thing doesn't look like as much fun, and maybe you will be surprised and it actually is a lot more fun than you thought it was going to be. So, do release your expectations there. Be open to surprise. Be open to let life surprise you. What if you do wake up in the morning and you're more excited about something else, and you're ready to kind of face just a new way of doing things, a new way of being excited about life. Or, the stability might be very surprising too, that you might actually enjoy that. If the devil's kind of knocking you off course and it's been going on for a while, you maybe forgot what stability feels like, and that may actually just be a really big surprise to you. So Cancer, I wish you the best of luck with this reading, whether this is you going through this internally or with people around you, or if it's a friend of yours or something, if there's some sort of confrontation that happens here. But just make sure, if you even need to look up this devil card and exactly, what the devil tarot card means. There's just so many different meanings to it, but it typically, I think of it as that devil on your shoulder that wants you to do the things that you shouldn't do. And it's about facing that this week, coming to this new perspective and just getting yourself more stable. But if you want to look that card up for further reading, I might suggest that. So, and a fiery climax approaches. I mean, this could be that there's just a big blowout this week, and you're going to have to manage that. So I wish you the best of luck with all of this week, Cancer. Of course, if you're comfortable sharing, drop me a message down below. Let me know what it is that you're facing. Are you going through this with family, or, is it something you're working on internally? If you have any questions or anything, of course, you can ask me a question in the comments. I would be happy to answer that for you. Also, I do readings every week, so come back next week and we'll see if this energy continues, if this story keeps going, or if there's just a completely new energy here for you. So thanks so much, Cancer. Good luck with this, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.